Welcome back to On Lino's. This is part two of hanging out with Tyler, continuing our conversation from last week. Um, I just, I'm not good at the intros, even when I do them not during the video.
But Disney Plus has a lot of nature documentaries too,
Oh, nice.
because
As
they
long
have
as
all
they're like
the,
legit and not
yeah.
like that early one from what was it, like the 50s or whatever, where they chased the lemmings off and made the entire world think that lemmings committed mass suicide
No,
when in actuality they just did it for the fucking documentary.
no. They have like, I think it's called Blue Earth or something. Their whatever their series is that they do, and they have it's like they go to Antarctica and they go to wherever, but you can choose where you want to see the animals from or the nature from.
Nice. I watched the one with Morgan Freeman that's on Netflix. And that was pretty
I
good.
That one was good. I saw that
Yeah.
one. I
And the
like,
outtakes were really
yeah,
good
that's
too.
what I was about to mention.
He's like, I'm Morgan fucking Freeman. Like
Well, you can say that.
you're like, that thing is ugly.
Yes. Oh, was it the ocean ones? It was like
Yeah,
the, yeah,
with the just super big squid or whatever.
that thing's fucking ugly. Oh gosh, I want to be that famous that you could just say whatever you want.
You know what? I was driving and I realized I've never thought about this. I've never wanted to be famous or like well known in any particular way. I just want to be able to do things and have people enjoy it and not have any like social repercussions to people
Hmm.
enjoying what I do. But if I could be well known enough and interesting enough, have enough of an impact that Terry Gross would want from Fresh Air would want to interview me, that's it. That's all I need, you
So
know?
you all need to send this episode, tag Terry Gross.
Wait until I have better numbers. I'm doing
There's
more.
only 6 degrees of separation, so if you share it and then someone else shares
Yeah.
it, it'll get there eventually.
I like I wish like I could be as and I know that she has a team, right? It's not like she's doing everything. She has a team. There's people helping her like edit and do all that. There's like, and I like sometimes I have to remind myself when I'm listening to podcasts where they have editors and producers
Hmm.
and people writing the questions and helping with research that I cannot formulate that kind of you know but I
Hmm.
before I started the podcast, I had like this whole plan of like I was going to put questions together and do like research. And then my ADHD was like, if you
No.
do those things, I will not want to talk about those things. So I have
Yeah.
to go in and be spontaneous and I just went, okay, we're going to go the authentic route. But sometimes I do want to be more like, um, I don't know what even the word is, but like more like
Yeah.
whatever put together. And I just am trying to learn to accept that just because I'm not putting things together the way that I kind of imagined it doesn't mean that what I'm doing is less than, you
Yeah,
know?
definitely. Because it may have been less than for you to do it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, it might have I think it would have made it less like fun for me.
Hmm. That was a
So
thing. I was talking to someone today and they were like, why don't you go take pictures of a bunch of cars? I'm like, because cars aren't my thing. Like, I wouldn't be happy doing cars all the time.
yeah,
So,
not only that, but like there's really only like four or five angles for the most part, and it's the same pictures over and over again, and there's no challenge to the settings or the lighting, and like I love taking pictures of motorcycles and cars, especially when they're in motion, but it's not creative, you
no.
know?
And I get it. I could make money taking pictures of all of the farm equipment and stuff for companies, and I'll do that. That's fine, but that's not my passion. I would have more fun with one of my $175 photo shoots than I would taking pictures of a bunch of
Yeah,
combines and making 2 grand, 3 grand.
yeah,
So I'll do it to supplement me doing the other stuff.
yeah.
And I
I
know I do a good job.
I would totally do stuff like that and I would have fun doing it. And I'd be like, "Oh, I don't even have to edit it. It's so like, yeah." But then I would get stressed out trying to take pictures of people. That's my like weakness. And I want to do it to be better at it, but I also like don't because I don't want to have to do any post processing.
Yeah.
So
I did find a couple of programs if I do. So, a couple of ways to outsource editing if I do get busy enough, because editing takes way longer than the shoots.
yeah.
And then other programs that can take your style of editing. So it takes all of your data from like Lightroom and Photoshop, and then it simulates that. It's like AI, but through what you already do. So it knows your style of editing.
Hmm.
And then you just go through and touch up whatever. So it's already kind of edited to the style that you want it to be
See,
in.
that's a good tool for AI. It's like that's what where AI makes sense to me, because it's
Mm-hmm.
literally helping to automate something based on your preferences. It's not stealing, it's not recreating somebody else's shit, it's your stuff.
And it's really just it's not even, yeah, it's not creating art. What it's doing is just lighting and background and clarity and all of those things.
Yeah.
It's not like adding people in and
Yeah. I mean, it's not that different from using presets in Lightroom or whatever.
exactly,
It's that
exactly.
you set up yourself. Like,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, ever since like I started researching some stuff for my equipment, all of my ads are just buy my presets, buy my presets. I'm like, I can make my own presets. Like
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I yeah, I like
I'm
my style. You're not my style.
I'm really hoping once I get my gallbladder out and heal up that I can go out and start using my camera. Like that was my plan before I even moved here, was like I'm going to be back in this area that I'm really familiar with, and there's a lot of good picture spots, and I can like, I mean, even the property I'm on, there's like mushrooms growing all over the place right now. Those are like fun to take pictures of, and
Oh yeah.
I just don't have the like mental whatever for creative right now because of how drained I feel. But I want to be able to like, just go out, drive out to the coast. There's like dilapidated barns and,
Hmm.
and I I did like my finances, and I think I told you that like my friend helped me get a consolidation loan for all the debt the RV has accrued. And with that, I have enough money for like an extra tank of gas a month so that I could afford to drive around, on
Hmm.
occasion and do that. So I think that would be really nice to give myself that again, because I just like I put my camera down in like 2012 after like just dealing with like the negativity that came from working with hipsters and stuff, and like literally like they would like make fun of me when I was taking pictures because I always had my camera in hand. It was very much like and I didn't realize this until the autism realization, but I used my camera as a way to survive social situations. I literally would not agree to go to a party or a wedding unless I was allowed to take pictures because
Oh, that I mean,
yeah,
I think part of it is giving you the idea that you have a sense of purpose in being there, as well as
and it
being able
also creates
to.
space from everybody
Mhm.
else. It removes that pressure of having to socialize because you're no longer actively part of it, but you're still there. you
Mhm.
know and I got to give people like the gift of candid photography, which people are often very surprised. They'll be like, oh, I don't take good photos, and I'm like, well, if you forget I'm here, you will, because
Yeah.
that's my strength. And then they end up getting like the first photo they've ever liked of themselves because of that. So
Oh,
it
I love that.
yeah I just yeah I miss that connection, but I also like just never go anywhere. So
I'm
you
thinking
know
of building or buying, but I hope I can figure out how to build it because I've been researching. But building like a photo booth that I can have as an extra for at events that I do, or they can just have the photo booth and not hire me.
yeah
And that's where those presets come into handy where you can just put them through all those photos.
yeah
But but it's a nice thing to have uh, at weddings or birthday parties and things like that that I feel like would make a decent amount of money.
Definitely.
And then
Yeah,
they can save money on having a photographer and just having those like fun photos of their friends.
yeah, that would be cool. I wonder if like people, because there's those little like travel printers that you can just hook your phone up
Hmm.
to and then you
Hmm.
just like print. Like, I wonder if that's like something that like people would be into. Like, hey, just if you want to print a photo that you took you know, from your phone at the wedding or whatever event you're at, and then leave it for the people that like the bride and groom or whatever, and then just sort of have this collection of photos that people like print and leave for the bride and groom at the end of the day,
That's a great idea. That is a really good idea. I think they would really like that.
Yeah, I think, it'd probably depend on the group, but I think that like something like that would be
Hmm.
fun. You just literally make like a wedding album right there, just
Hmm.
fueled by people.
Oh, that's a great idea. Might have to steal that one too.
Yep, go for it. I'm not gonna use it. You can has it.
I might have two weddings next summer already booked. So I have one booked. I might have a second one
Nice.
booked, which is nice.
I've only
Uh,
done weddings for friends. I have never been paid for a wedding. And I got so burnt out post-processing photos after one of the weddings had really bad lighting. And I even brought a friend and a reflector. And
yeah.
the lighting was just, and I just, yeah. And
Oh,
after that, I was like, I don't want to ever do that again. I'm like, I'll take photos, but I will not post-process them. I'll just send them to you. And
mhm.
that was it.
They can edit them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the camera I just got, so I upgraded for Christmas. It's used. It's not new, guys. And it was the Japanese model, so it came from Japan, but it had the lowest shutter count for the body style for the price range. And you can replace a shutter. It's I think on this camera it's like $300 to replace the shutter. So I was like, even if the shutter goes out, like I can replace it, and I'm still saving over $1,000
Yeah.
on buying it new. But I have it right here. Um, but
Pretty.
it's so pretty,
The
and I love so
double
big.
hand. Yeah.
And I have two extra batteries in there, and it takes two memory cards, which is really nice. I mean, the pictures are twice as big as my other body, but
Yeah.
so really, is it more storage? But yeah, it came from Japan, and so I had to read, like, figure out how to put it in English, like in the settings, like look online, like go to the here now, go to here.
Yeah.
But it's really like it takes really good shots in the dark, like in pretty dark environments. So I didn't even think about that till you just said that. My other body does not.
Yeah.
So, and it won't even take them. Like it'll just be like, this is too dark. We're not taking a picture right now.
Yeah. It's amazing the technology for ISO and stuff has just gotten so much better. I remember like when I was doing photography before there were DSLRs, I had like a Canon SLR and I went, you have to use film and I
Hmm.
went to a concert and I used 3200 speed film to shoot this concert and the photos are really good, but they're really grainy because 3200 is like nothing on a DSLR now. But when I got my first DSLR in 2003, it was like super grainy and it was like 400 or 600, like
Hmm.
it's crazy. Like when I have a Sony like 3/4 or whatever it's called. I wanted something that was easier on the hands, and I didn't realize how much I was not gonna like the lenses.
Oh
But
no.
and I don't like the OS for it like at all. Like I've always had Canon, and I just cannot get used to like the way they name things. It took me like 3 days to figure out how to turn off the stupid beep because they don't use the word beep. Like
Oh
it's like
no.
some other like tone or something like that. And I was just like, why would I even think with the word tone on a camera that it was for sound? Like,
Because you would think it'd be more for like the color or the like.
exactly. I was just like, dude.
Oh,
But yeah, I haven't been super happy with it, but it does do like low light stuff pretty well.
that's good. Yeah, I went to take it out at night to the lights because they have like a light display, and it was shooting too bright in the dark, as I had to turn it down or turn it
Yeah.
up or whatever
Yeah.
to get pictures of the lights and it not look like it's bright out because it
Yeah.
wasn't.
That's
But that will
funny.
be good for weddings inside and dances and when they turn the lights down. So,
Yeah. I do have a nice flash with like the different fill attachments. It's like with a magnet. It's pretty cool. Like,
oh, that is nice.
yeah. And you can like use it as a
I
slave
have
where you just set it on the ground if you want.
I have a level on mine.
Oh, that's fancy. always nice. My tripod has a level, but
I was making it level before I set it down.
it's just gonna play with the bubble.
My tripod I think has a level two now that I think about it, which makes sense for a tripod to have a
Yeah,
level.
the decent ones have them. My RV has a really big level in the front. It's like yay wide with like a big
Mhm.
ass ball in it. It's not level, and I really want to just grab the RV and be like,
Just a little bit.
yeah.
Ours had a Growing up, ours had a level, and I thought it was the coolest thing. And my stepdad always told me it was for the refrigerator.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, because the if your RV is off kilter at an angle, the way that the fridge like works, it will actually like break it. It'll just destroy your fridge.
Okay,
You have
so
to
he
get a
was
new one.
right.
Yeah. That's like the most important thing about leveling. So is that
Okay. Okay. So, stepdad, you were right. And I thought you were joking with me.
yeah. It's really weird because like my RV is like it's not level, but it's not level in different ways. So in that area, it kind of goes that way. And then over there, it goes that way. And I think it's that the slide out actually tilts a little bit. So that's why it's
Oh, it's
off over
pulling
there.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the RV itself is like this way, just a smidge, not like it's enough to fuck with my resin stuff. It's not enough to be a problem for the fridge.
Oh no, your resin. Can you tilt where you're setting the resin down so that it's
Yeah, so
level?
the center island is pretty close to level.
Hmm.
So, but I think I'm actually going to move my resin stuff to where the rest of my stuff is and just go there and do resin because I cannot maintain the temperature in here. You need to be between 70
Oh
and 80
yeah.
degrees and
Yeah.
I can't even get it that warm in here. So,
So in
and
the
also
summer,
yeah. Also, it's an air quality issue because you got to wear like a mask. And then I'm like, well, how long do I have to wear the mask after I do the resin stuff so that it's still safe? Whereas if I go there, there's a room, I can do the work,
Mhm.
step out of the room, take off the mask, and not worry about it. And also not worry about like Amos's health as well.
Yeah,
So,
that makes sense.
yeah. So I think,
I'm glad you have that space. I'm sorry it's so far away though.
yeah, I know it's a
So,
40-minute drive, but I'm glad I have it too. Like, I'm glad that my ex and I are able to like stay friends where there's, you
mhm.
know, some,
See, you
you
just need
know,
to move into my basement and then Jordan can move into my bus. And then
we'll just have a commune,
that's my dream.
the creative commune. I've
We all
always
have our
wanted that.
own we have our
Yeah.
own spaces.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I
I,
want the commune thing, but with the ability to like get away from it as well. Like you have your own area and your own space and you can feel far away from it and then rejoin in when you want to.
yeah. I always imagined like property where there's like houses and they're not like right next to each other.
Mm.
And then like there's like a central area with like chairs and a bonfire thing and like, and then you could take turns having dinner at each other's houses or ignoring each other or whatever. And then when I was a kid, I had it like planned out where I would have something like that, but I would also have like an underground like thing, with tunnels that go between each house. So like if shit really hits the fan, you can still get to each other without going outside and you can like
Yeah.
survive underneath there and you could play laser tag because laser tag was a thing when I was a kid and I never got to play
Mhm.
it, but I really wanted to.
Well, we should go play laser tag.
I'll probably yell a lot. Like I don't like when I play hide and go seek, I'll start screaming. I get like so freaked out. I get super like I'm just like oh,
I love laser tag. I don't know why it's so expensive now. Because you're in there for
no.
like 7 minutes.
Yeah.
You pay
I
like
would only
$20.
I'd only want to play with like my friends. I don't want to play with strangers who are gonna have attitude problems. I
I get
like
that.
having fun. I don't like competition. There's like you know,
Yeah, yeah. There was a laser tag that we went to back in Oregon, I want to say. Portland that had a lot of things that you shoot. You're not necessarily shooting each other, you're shooting at targets that like
Hmm.
move and stuff and they do different things. There was like a dragon and it goes "Rah!" and then you like you have to shoot one thing and it makes the dragon come out and then you shoot other things on the dragon.
I would be good at that.
Yeah, it was
I've been
pretty
playing
cool.
pistol whip on my I got a gift card for my birthday, and it was for the Meta store, so I could get pistol whip on my Oculus, and it's fun. I just need to get a better headband because it like gives me a headache. So eventually I need to invest in a better one. I keep seeing ads for it, and I don't, if I see ads, I instantly think it's a scam, and I don't trust
Mm-hmm.
stores that advertise to me at all. It's I'm just like, it's a scam, and they have fake reviews, and it's going to be shitty, and they're going to steal my money, and it's a thing.
I definitely understand that, especially if it's on like Facebook or Instagram and TikTok. And so I'll look up the actual company and then go to the website. And
Yeah.
then,
But then
um,
because there's so many cases of people that have companies that have these websites where they sell stuff that only allow the good reviews to be shown,
mhm.
right? So like you don't get like a fair like view of people's experiences for things, and so that's like where that trust issue comes from. It's like it's almost easier
Can
to buy on Amazon where they can't force the positive reviews the same way.
That's true. Will sometimes though Google will have their own reviews of the companies and then you can see the actual
Yeah.
scale of them.
Or sometimes you can find like good Reddit conversations where
Mm.
people are like talking about stuff and sort of dismantling it. And, I love like going when you're looking at like devices, or like when I was researching dehumidifiers back in the day, um, I found like comments from like engineers who actually took the dehumidifier apart and talked about why it was good. And then I was like, all right, I'm buying that one because this person like put that much work into it.
They also get a like.
Yeah, exactly. Just look for the nerd reviews, and then it's legit.
Exactly. Oh, so what did you get for Christmas?
I got these shoes. They're
I
really
like the
cool.
shoes. The
They're
shoes are really
like they're
cool.
sort of like blood orange color, and they have like flowers on one side and a butterfly and flowers on the other, so they're not matching, and they're super comfy. And I keep them in my trunk, and then I wear my mud boots to the car and
Mm-hmm.
then change into them since I have like a muddy thing to walk across.
And
And
your
my son
your
sent
daughter-in-law got them for you? Is that right?
my ex-mother-in-law did.
Oh, ex-mother-in-law. That's right.
Yeah. And then my son sent me money so that I could buy the super fancy Toshiba induction rice cooker,
Yeah.
that can actually cook out some of the bad carbs in rice if you want it to. So you get like more of the starchy carbs. Um, I don't really worry about that because I eat quinoa, so
Yeah.
I tend not to eat rice. But and then but I'm going to use it to make oatmeal at some point. And oatmeal in a rice cooker is creamy. It's like, oh my god,
I need to do it. I need
it's
to do
just
it.
yeah,
I
it's so
have
good.
oatmeal. I have a
Yeah.
rice cooker.
If you well, what kind of rice cooker do you have? The kind that has the lid with the steam top, or do you
Yeah.
have the glass lid?
It's a glass lid.
Okay, so I do not recommend making oatmeal in that unless you have a big rice cooker and you're making a little bit of oatmeal, because
Okay.
it foams out and goes everywhere.
I
The re
also have a pressure cooker. Would that cook my oatmeal?
Yes. And you would get the similar kind of benefit as,
Hmm.
so the Toshiba one I got, it has the pressure, like it has the steam lid, and it works with pressure, and so it stops it from foaming out, and it like controls that so it doesn't make that horrific mess.
Okay.
um yeah, so I'm it made the quinoa I made in it was like really good. I was like, and because I have like a small, like a little rice cooker, it's like yay big, it's like tiny, and the quinoa is fine in that. So I don't understand how is it that much better in this other rice cooker. I'm just like, how,
Magic.
yeah, and it has a steamer function, but the only thing I don't like about it is that it's not made to cook rice and steam the food at the same time. And I used
Mm,
to have a rice cooker that did that. I can't, you can still do it. It's just not, there's no instructions. So you have to kind of trial and error it to figure it out.
okay.
Um,
It's more efficient to do it that way. You're using the same steam.
yeah, exactly. And I don't really know, like, I don't know. It's getting harder to find rice cookers that have that, like that brand, the Zurushi or whatever. They don't have that at all anymore. So I don't know if they just started being like, oh, it's, you know,
No one steams things anymore.
yeah. Oh, and the other thing is it uses so much power. I have to turn things off to make the rice. But I can't make small batches, so it lasts me for like 3 or 4 days. So
Okay.
it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I end up making too much rice every single time. My rice cooker is probably like that big.
It's for like 5 cup
Yeah, I would
capacity.
I think so. About five
Yeah.
cup.
Yeah, mine's like also 5 cup, and the smallest amount you can do is like 1 cup. So that's what I make. But because I eat so little, that lasts me like 4 days. So
Yeah, because for my whole like family, I make usually 2 cups and it feeds all of us. So yeah, a cup for
yeah.
one person.
Yeah. So it's so it's cool. That's what I'm like, did I get anything else? I got my mom sent me money, which is weird. Like, I don't know. She sent me a bunch of money for my birthday and for Christmas. She usually combines things and she doesn't send me very much. And she'll be kind of like making excuses and grumpy. But she just like was like, here you go. And I was just like, what is going the only thing I can think is maybe she refinanced because so maybe she just had some money. So it was easier for her to like share without the stress or something. But
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not complaining. I got a TV, so I actually have a TV now. I've been
Woohoo.
I've been using my tablet for everything. So I got like it looks like a crash cart stand, so I can roll it around to get it out of the way as needed. Um,
Nice.
yeah,
That's
so that's
nice.
it's a Samsung, and my phone's a Samsung. So now my phone is a remote control for the TV, which
That's cool.
is super cool. And the remote that comes with the TV is pretty nice to begin with, but I can literally just take my phone and like scroll around and like pick stuff. So I don't even have to use my Google Cast. And so I don't have to deal with the Google Cast issues of it crashing after you use it for 4 hours. And that's pretty cool. So
That's awesome. I didn't know that was a thing.
yeah, me either. I had no idea. Like I was like, I feel like an old person now. Or
What is my
technology.
Oh, it's a Philips. I was like, what is my TV? That's not a
So
Samsung.
it's yeah, it's that's pretty nice. It's like
I got the girls a Wii and a bunch of games for like 80 bucks on
nice.
Marketplace for Christmas. And I didn't, the only TV in my house was in my bedroom. So I had to get a TV out of the garage and like put it on the floor for them. I didn't even think about that with getting, like, where are they going to play it? But we've never really had a TV like that we sit around and watch things. I've been very I'd never let the kids have like screen time really or anything. They had tablets and I'd only give them 2 hours a day if they did like all their schoolwork and everything. I was mean.
Yeah,
But with the way the world is this year, I was like, I need them to have GPS and be able to get a hold of me. So I got them all phones for Christmas and it's more for me to have
yeah,
peace of mind. But I hate that they can just be on their phone all the time. I hate it, but at the same time, the safety aspect was more important to me.
yeah,
But I did
yeah.
put it on there that I can turn off that they can go on certain apps. So they can
That's a
only
good
go on like
idea.
game apps for 2 hours a day, but they have texting and calling all day. So
Yeah. Yeah, when I got my son a phone, which of course was like a million years ago, the entire reason was for safety and being able to have access to him easily. And
mhm.
then, we didn't do tablets. That wasn't really a thing at that point, but he did play video games. And my only role was that as long as you maintain your GPA and take care of your shit first, you can play. Like,
Mhm.
and he had like so much anxiety and like stress around like school and all of that, that it was just a really good like escape for him. And then we just kept the computer in the front room so I could always
Yeah.
hear all of his conversations and stuff like that. And wasn't he just wasn't like inclined to go where he shouldn't go. And although it was really funny because when he got a little bit older, it ends up that he had like a really popular Tumblr that was just all hentai. And and he did that. He didn't. He's a demisexual, so he doesn't care about like porn or whatever, right? So
Just the
like
art.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he just thought it was funny, and he set up this Tumblr because it was funny, and then it ended up doing really well.
I love it. And I love that he's the one behind it. Like it
and
makes it
and
better.
and he didn't like mention it to me at first, but eventually he did, and I was just like, okay, like because we had pretty open dialogue about that stuff. I was like,
Yeah.
you would hear him like sometimes when he was gaming with people, and he'd be like, hey, don't objectify her, like he would just totally like call people out and stuff. So I was like, not worried.
Proud moment.
Yeah. But why is it sending me like it's like sending me notifications through the Zoom app, like about like audio settings. And like, why would you do that when I'm actively recording? That's silly.
Don't do it was doing that to me when I was recording with Jordan a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm like, don't distract me.
We don't like that. Um, yeah, I'm thinking, did we say Thursday or Friday we're recording?
I don't know if we set a day, so you
Okay,
pick.
either one. Uh,
let
pretty sure
me
I'm open both
let me
days.
double check my. Um, I mean, either works for me. I have an appointment on Wednesday that I have to drive like 4 hours for,
So maybe
but
Friday would be.
yeah, so I have like a down day.
Oh, I do have two appointments on Thursday, so Friday would probably be better anyway. Sorry, not to break up this. I just want to make sure we set it before we
Yeah, I
and that
keep.
way if I
I have.
have a photo shoot that I can make sure I have that set aside.
I need to move my drink because I can smell it. It's
Pruny. Oh, it's been so dry here too. So I can use Lubriderm. I usually use just Aquaphor, but when you're using it constantly, it's
too goopy.
too goopy. But
Mm.
Lubriderm seems to be okay.
Yeah, I use the Vino oatmeal stuff, and
Oh,
that seems to
I
be
like
okay.
that. I like that stuff. This was just on
Yeah.
sale at Costco.
I'm like I have to run a dehumidifier like all the time. It's like because even if it's like clear right now, by evening the fog comes in.
Mm.
And the only time the fog doesn't come in is when it gets like freezing. And then at that point, but the fog is really nice because the moisture is like an insulator, which helps keep the temperature a little bit higher in here. So even if it's cold outside, it doesn't get as cold in here at night, which makes it easier to keep it warm. So I'm like, come on, fog, I'll just run a dehumidifier.
See, in the summer it's super humid here, but in the winter it's really dry. And even my eyelids are like super dry.
Yeah. I every time I go somewhere where it snows, because it gets really, if it snows, it's dry. I
Yeah.
get my sinuses, I get bloody noses, and then my sinuses, even once I come home, it takes weeks for them to stop bleeding. It's just
Oh,
trash as me.
it's not as bad here as it was in Colorado. That was really dry. Here, it's just the cold in general makes my skin angry.
Yeah.
It hasn't even been that cold though. It's in the 30s.
Yeah. I went to Joshua Tree. It was like right at the beginning of COVID. Like I knew because I had read about COVID in December, and I was like, oh, this is we're finally getting one. Like, and so we went in like January before things started close down. And maybe it was February. But when we got down there was like still snow, and it was so dry, and it was just like I'm dying. Like like if I was staying somewhere and didn't have a tiny car, I would have brought like a mister with me to, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a humidifier somewhere. I probably should use that.
Yeah, that's very helpful.
Because even my heater, is it's not air conditioned, so that's good. So it doesn't dry out the air as much. It's the boiler heat, so it's just water through the
Yeah.
floorboards. Works really well. And it's super cheap to run. So
Nice.
in a 5,000 square foot house, that's good.
Yeah, definitely.
I know the price of gas went up though last year, so it's almost double what it used to be for me to run the heater.
Yeah. The gas prices have gone up here too. I don't have like now I'm just doing propane, but like when I was in the house before, it was like everything. It was weird because the house had solar, but everything was gas. And I was
Hmm.
like, somebody didn't think about that.
Yeah. I've thought about getting solar and putting it in the backyard because then I can get to it and clear off the snow.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't, people won't get mad at me for putting solar on a Victorian house.
That makes sense.
Uh, but the upstairs kitchen, it's gas, but then the one in the basement is electric. And then the washer and dryer in the basement are electric, and the ones upstairs are gas, I think.
Hmm,
It's weird. They didn't
that's
do
weird.
it consistently.
Yeah. Maybe it was cheaper just to not run gas lines down there.
Yeah, maybe that's very possible. But in the boiler room, there's gas line. That's where all the gas goes to first. So, which is right next to all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. But the basement also stays relatively the same temperature all year, which is good. So it's usually about like 65, 70 without AC or heat on.
Nice.
And the heat, I mean, there's AC and there's no AC down there because it always is cool. There's heat. And that's electric heat down there. So that's not connected to the boiler heat. I don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah. It's weird. I used to live in a apartment that was in the basement of the building. I didn't know when I moved in that it was 2 inches too low to be considered legal to live in, which seems like really like petty to me. Like it's just this law that the city had that
Yeah.
it has to be the ceiling has to be a certain height or you can't live in it. It was only 2 inches too low. But I moved in there and it was like great because it just kind of like I never really needed to like use the heater.
Hmm.
Summertime I would like set up a fan in the window, but it was pretty comfortable. My only
Yeah.
issue is like the neighbor above me didn't like me, so she like intentionally like left the outside sprinklers running so it flooded down there.
Oh
and
my
uh
God.
and they would like my windows are right at ground level, so they do stuff like dump beer out their windows. So it would like if my windows were open, it would like, you
That's
know,
that's
and you
horrible.
know why? Because I asked them if they could like turn their music down because it was excessively loud at 6 in the morning. And I
Oh.
didn't go to the cops. I wasn't rude. I was super nice. And
They
they
should have been
just,
happy you came to them instead of doing something
yeah,
else.
I know. And they just were like, if you don't like it, you should move to a neighborhood with white people. And I was like, what? I don't
What?
understand. Like, what does that have to do with anything?
That doesn't
Like,
have to do with anything. That
yeah,
just con common decency of living above someone in general is don't vacuum in the middle of the night.
yeah. And it wasn't like like if I could hear my TV or I could sleep, I wouldn't care. But it was so loud that even with earplugs, it was still too loud. It was crazy, you know? So
Wow.
it was like, and then like one of the other neighbors, she had a stroke. And the lady from that household, the lady that didn't like me, she actually came to me and asked for help because she didn't drive to help take this other person to the hospital. And I ended up taking that person to the hospital and then hanging out with her and taking her like physical therapy and stuff like that for a couple of months. And and that lady was like, "Oh wow, you're actually like a good person." And I was just like,
What did
I
they
don't know.
tell you about me?
Yeah, like I'm sorry that you don't like white people, but damn racist. Like, fuck.
Oh my gosh. That's horrible.
Yeah.
I only had one upstairs neighbor that I did not get along with, and it was because I called CPS on her and she knew that it was me, but she dragged her daughter up by her hair up the stairs. And her daughter was like 3. and had
Yeah.
just a braid and like pulled her by her hair up the stairs. Of course I'm gonna call
Right.
like
That's like unacceptable.
and I would hear her daughter screaming like mommy no like all the time, and I could hear her hitting her daughter
Yeah.
through the floor. And then she'd vacuum all night, and like I'm just like, what are you doing? I would
Yeah.
understand if like your baby will only sleep with the vacuum on, and I would totally understand that. And I never complained about the vacuuming, but it was weird. And it was like
Hmm.
going all through the house all night. Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing?
That's that's weird. I had downstairs neighbors when I lived in a different apartment and they got into a fight like regularly. And at one point I called the cops. I was just like, it just sounds really bad. I don't know what happened with them. There was no, they weren't there a few weeks
Mhm.
later. But and then I was the upstairs neighbor in another place, and the lady that lived downstairs from me was like so sensitive. She would complain about my white noise machine. She complained about my Roomba even though I was using it like in the middle of the day. She complained about the cats walking around and asked me if I could lock them up until she left the house. And I was literally like, they're cats. I'm not going to abuse my cats for you. Why don't you get a fan and run some white noise? She didn't have a TV. She didn't run any noise or anything, right? I was just like, and
Imagine
I'm
if
like
there
a
was
really
like a
quiet
crying
person.
baby. Like,
Yeah. I listen to music with the headphones on. I never even set up my speakers. Like, it was like quiet. Like and
you should
she
not be in an
complained.
apartment.
Yeah. She complained all the time about noises and stuff. And I was just like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you, but like these are reasonable noises. And like I only run the Roomba during certain hours because we agreed on that and,
Hmm.
things like that. But like, my white noise machine is like, and she could hear it just a little bit at night. And she's like, well, it just keeps me awake. And I'm just like, get your own.
Yeah. I think
Like
what's keeping you awake is your anger.
yeah, I run white noise all the time because I'm so sensitive to noises in my environment and it makes such a huge difference.
Yeah, I can understand. My headphones have white noise, or what is it? Well, it's like a anti-noise thing. So if I have it on in my ears, it makes like a white noise kind of sound, and I can't hear anything except for the people in front of me.
Oh,
So it
that's
blocks
cool.
out the noise from behind and around me so that if I'm like in a loud environment, I can just hear that person in front of me I'm wanting to hear, which
Yeah,
is so
my
nice.
hearing aids are supposed to do that, but it doesn't work that well. I need to go back to the audiologist and I haven't been wearing them because I never see people, so there's no real reason to wear them, but you know, but the yeah, like I wear earbuds when I sleep that are specifically made for sleeping and they make white noise and you can choose you can't play music through them or anything. It's literally just all different types of white noise and like rain and so I have like a specific sound and I don't have it on very loud just because living in the RV I feel like I want to make sure I can hear things in case there's
Hmm.
like a fire or whatever, but it helps, especially because Amos likes to yell at me in the middle of the night. So he'll be like, wow, and I can focus on the white noise and ignore the meowing and sleep.
That's nice. I don't, there's not a lot of noises that go on at night. The kids used to play their Alexas really loud, and I had to tell them it needs to be on a two or a three. I know I shouldn't be able to hear it through the floor.
Right.
Um, I do sleep with headphones in, and I could hear their Alexas with my headphones in.
That's really loud.
I'm like, we have a roommate right next to you guys. Stop it.
Yeah.
Now that they have their phones, they have headphones, and so I don't hear anything at night.
That's nice. Yeah, I like here it's really, really quiet. So I don't hear much except for they've been doing a lot of tree work. They're cutting down like a ton of trees because last year when it rained a lot, we had a lot of trees fall. So like you'll hear like this like sound and all of a sudden you hear like from the piece of tree falling on the road. Um and that's been happening a lot in the like the first 3 hours in the morning. But I'm usually awake by then anyway. So but it's nice to be somewhere it's actually quiet because when I was living in Vallejo, it was like
Mm-hmm.
constant road noise, and like you'd hear people doing like donuts and honking and sirens, and I was just like, all right, this is like way too much.
I do not miss that. When I lived in Point Loma, my bedroom window was right by the main road at my apartment complex. And it was just people would honk on purpose, like through that area, knowing people are sleeping.
That's so rude.
Why?
I i grew up on a busy street, and it was just road noise, it was just
Mhm.
cars going by, and I didn't mind that. It's different now. People's cars are really loud and the music's really loud, and it's a different kind of road noise, and it makes me like, I get super like, you know.
Yeah, because we lived right off a highway in San Diego, and it almost sounded like the ocean, the way that the cars like driving by.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, now it is so different. And then the random motorcycle would go by sometimes, and it's just like, "Rrrr."
Eeyaw.
Here, I don't have hardly anyone drives in front of my house at night. It's usually just at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. is when it's really busy, just because there's the plant right over here that they're 12-hour shifts, and that's their shift change is 7 and 7.
Yeah,
So around that time, right before that time, it's a little busy, but I can hear the train and I kind of like it.
yeah.
It's, it sounds very, so the horn on the train that goes by here, or all the trains, I don't know how many of them go by, but it sounds really ominous. And it's not like a loud, obnoxious horn. It's just like this off in the distance kind of,
Aw,
yeah.
aw.
And it like echo fades out, and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, I kind of like
I
this.
like that. When I was little, my mom's best friend, she was kind of like my second mom. They lived in this area called Eckley, which is just sort of like this little slice of town, whatever, off of Port Costa. It's near Vallejo, but and it was right their front yard, the tracks were like right there, so trains would go by. And even though it was really loud, like when the trains went by, and it was all like not passenger trains, but like the really really long ones with all the cars and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, the noise was just like you just hear
Yeah.
and they only honked if we were out there, like honk, tell them
Oh,
to
they
honk. But
have
it
to. They
yeah,
have to
yeah.
here.
But at night they didn't like honk. But I always loved that. So I think I have like a sentimental feeling about trains because of that. And then the when I owned a house, that was in an area that has a ton of railroad tracks. Like there's actually an area called Iron Triangle because it's like surrounded by tracks. And so like there's always trains going through, and they had like rules where they can't honk at certain times, but there are like exceptions to the rule. And every now and again it'd be like 2 in the morning and you would hear like honk, like like, and it was off in the distance,
Mm-hmm.
and it would just sound like it was like the sound like drifting across the fog
Mm-hmm.
to you. And yeah, it's cool.
I like it. Yeah, these trains are not passenger trains, but they will be soon. We are getting Amtrak on this
Oh,
track. They're moving in at some point in the next couple of years. Right now, they're
nice.
just grain and oil trains, I
Hmm.
think, but mainly grain because the plant here is a corn plant that's like right off the train tracks. I think the train tracks go through it so it can.
Yeah, something in load. Huh.
Actually, I think they're taking the corn from it because they're a corn processing plant.
Yeah.
So maybe they give it the ethanol and stuff that they make. But they make the sugars for White Claw, like the alcohol
Oh
sugars.
yeah.
Or they convert the sugars into alcohol, something like that. So they do that there, specifically for White Claw. And it's really gross when they're making corn syrup. The whole town reeks.
Ugh. My area just smells like poop, cow poop, like. And it's weird because it during, like, there's a certain part of the day where generally speaking it's not too bad and you don't really smell it, and it's just the country. And then come evening, every day the aroma comes in and you're like, Ugh. And thankfully, like, because I have the HEPA filter, like we come inside here, it smells fine. But
Hmm.
like as soon as you step outside, you're like, oh, because it just hits you and it like
Hmm.
clings to you. And then sometimes they fertilize, and
Oh.
that's even better because then the allergies get involved and it's a whole
Mhm.
other smell. And yeah, it's
There's like 3 weeks here where they're fertilizing all the fields and it's just horrible. But we have a turkey processing plant and that is real fun in the summer. Hello.
Amos, he just woke up. Yeah, the summer is even better because I don't know. I'm trying to decide what's better, the summer or winter for smells. Because the winter it's like a wet poop smell, and the summer
Hmm.
it's like a hot poop smell. And I'm not really sure which one like tastes worse.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah, they're both bad. They're both bad.
Yeah,
Uh,
I just
eh,
yeah, that's like yeah. And there's like cows. I'm actually surprised that we never hear cows. It's like they don't really make a lot of sound, but
mhm.
every now and again, like when I lived here when I was pregnant and like when my son was little, every now and again, like across the street, the cows would get like uppity and they'd all be like, "Rrr, rrr," and like yelling and be like, okay, cows.
Something's going on.
Yeah. Must have been moving them or something. But
Yeah,
I keep meaning to go out and take pictures of the cows just because everything's so green. So it's very like picturesque and cows have nice eyelashes.
they do. They're so cute. And then when they go to lick them,
Yeah. Like the crazy ass tongues. I never realized that cats have really long tongues like that too. And then like one time I took a picture of my cat when the tongue was like way out and I was like, where the fuck did that come from? Like what?
I used to grab Fiona's tongue. She'd be like licking my hands. I don't know if she likes the salt or whatever, and I just go, "Meh."
Yeah.
Like, but she'd keep doing it, so she couldn't hate it that much.
Yeah. I know Amos grooms me. He's very like he grabs me and grooms me.
Aww.
So then I like try to grab his face and pull his fur so it feels like I'm also grabbing him, and then I'll like pet him and try to be cat like with it. And he likes it rough. So
They make little like cat tongue things for your fingers that you can pet your cat with.
I don't know, like if I don't know if he'd like that or not.
I don't know. I saw him on like Temu or something.
Yeah, I remember seeing like a video of it, but there's the one where you wear it on your tongue.
Yes,
That
like you bite it. Yeah, I've seen
I
that
was
one
like
too.
I was like that's a hard no.
I think that would hurt my neck.
Hey, do you know like what the clips from because after you have your gallbladder removed, there's 4 clips in there. Do you know what
Mhm.
yours are made? Are they polymer or are they stainless steel?
They did not tell me actually.
Hmm.
I'll have to look at my report from
Yeah.
the surgery.
It was a very sudden change. I was reading about this
Oh no.
person that has MCAS and she was having like she got her gallbladder removed and then she was having all these like crazy health issues and anaphylactic and stuff. And then they were like, after like a year of it, they were just like, okay. And they went and removed, she had the polymer ones and she had been reacting to them. And within hours of removing them, she started feeling better. And I was like, that's crazy.
That's a really
I
good
have a
question.
polymer clip in my or not is it polymer or is metal? I don't know. But I had polymer stuff in after the congestion syndrome, like the things they used. So I don't think I'm gonna have to worry about that too much. But it's like one of those things in my brain, like,
Yeah, I don't think they ever talked to me about that beforehand.
yeah. I read about I was like, they leave clips in there. What?
They were going to leave a marker where they did the biopsy, but because of where it was, they're like, no, we're not leaving a clip in there because it's like in my nipple.
Mhm.
So they're like, yeah, you don't want that in there.
Yeah.
So they showed me what the markers would have looked like, and they just look like garbage, like a
Yeah.
coil and like
Weird. Just so they can find the area again later.
Mhm.
I
So
feel
if
like it won't
it,
be hard to find.
no, it won't be hard to find. I can feel it. It's not
Yeah.
hard to find.
Yeah. Weird.
Oh, but hopefully my insurance approves me to get these bad boys gone. I know everyone's
Yeah.
sad about it, except for people who understand.
Yeah. I
I had people on
yeah.
TikTok like upset about it.
Well, it's your body and none of their business
It'll
ultimately. So,
it made me want to do it more.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, if it makes you feel safer, healthier, makes you feel better in your body,
Mhm.
then like it's just empowering and that's awesome. That's it,
I,
you
I think
know?
either way, even if my insurance won't approve the mastectomy, I'll try to raise money for it later. But either way, I think they're going to remove my nipple on this side, which is almost more funny.
Yeah.
Uh,
Just be, you have a Barbie boob.
yes. And I'll still get my booby tattoo.
Yeah. Be awesome. I should probably wrap up since I have company now, but
Yeah. Hi,
yeah.
company.
Tyler says hi. Dave says hi. But
Yes. So let me know what time. I just kind of tentatively put it in for Friday,
okay.
and then I will get it. But I have nothing on Friday, so anytime works.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, I'm totally open to. So we just as long as it's like I need time to like so like around 1 o'clock my time would be good, probably.
That's the time I put,
Yeah.
so we can just
Awesome.
leave it there.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming and visiting my podcast today and
Yay!
talk to you again in a few days.
Woo! And then we'll
Woo.
be back on track.
Yay. I'm excited.
Me too.
All
All
right.
right, bye.
Bye.